Wow. Peace family. It took me forever to get on here live. My goodness gracious. Why do they does anyone know if other people's channels get as blocked as mine? Can you tell me? Does anyone else's channel get this kind of interference? Because it's really starting to I'm still taking it very personally that my channel gets the most incepted. Anyway, family, peace to the east, the west, the north, and the south. Uh, it's so interesting. Finally. Okay, so let's get it in. I had to change locations. I had to, I had to move around. I had to do dipping and diving just to get on this live. YouTube was down last night. I think it was like 40 something minutes. I want to have a conversation about it and what preamp this might be. And for all the, I'm sorry, for all the Intellists, let me fix myself, make myself appropriate. For all the Intellists, this was preordained, this event, which comes with a host of other events. So I'll wait until a couple other people check in, and then we'll start the conversation. And again, for those who don't know, some of you were sleeping. Peace. Some of you were sleeping. Some of you didn't even notice. Some of you just probably heard about it today. So for those who are not unaware, I'm sorry, I have like lip gloss all over my face. For those who are unaware, last night YouTube, or for those depending on the time zone you came from, it was a global YouTube shutdown. So YouTube shut down. Most of us in the know were alerted about it right away because all of us usually are watching YouTube all the time. So chances are you would have noticed it because you were looking at a video, or you were trying to look at a video, or you were looking at your channel. Some of you were live. So YouTube was shut down. Now, I don't know. I see a little bit of an image. I don't see anything. I'm going to keep talking. I don't see my image up. My squirrels are going quiet right now. I'll try this again. I guess I got to shut it down to start it back up. There we go. Whew. This is this kind of a day today. They shut down, and apparently I'm in the wave of being shut down. Okay, so let's get in the conversation. Like I finished, we had a shutdown yesterday, last night, depending on the time zone you were in. There were a wave of couple things that accompanied this shutdown. So we went live on Cypher. Big up to Cypher, who was in the crew last night. We went live on Cypher, and we had one of our own just tell us that after the shutdown, there was a host of people, just odd behavior with people, patterns of behavior with people going to ATMs last night. And this is on the West Coast, and also a denotion that on the East Coast in Florida's neck of the woods, not more South Florida, that some of the ATMs had shut down, or at least one that we know of. So there were a couple things that were occurring. Now, if you don't know, last week I think it was 2 weeks ago. Don't quote me on that. I think it's 2 weeks ago. There was some prophetic denotion. Usually the waves come in, and when it comes to electronics, usually there's kind of like a preamp to it. So it was already said that there was going to be an internet shutdown. I think a lot of you even knew this. So, again, we usually get the forewarning. Sometimes it happens, sometimes it doesn't. So a lot of times, you take it with a grain of salt until you see it. It actually occurred. But I didn't realize that YouTube shutdown wasn't just last night or yesterday, depending on where you're from. It actually happened on Monday as well. Oh, there's a kitty. Hold on, I'm looking at a kitten. Where's she going? Sorry, I'm seeing a kitten running around. Yeah, there was a shutdown on Monday as well of the YouTube, which some people got that had gotten. Now, also there was an alert. I'm not sure where the alert was at the same time that YouTube got a shutdown. I'm not sure if it was Portland or whoever's on this feed. Did you get an alert at the same time that the YouTube went down? There were certain people who got an alert on their phone stating, I forgot what they stated, but it was an alert, a notification on their phone. Anyone get that? Dante Pedro. Are you giving coordinations? 4/11/2019. Thank you for that. Someone write that down. Pedro just wrote 4/11/2019. Put it on put it on the calendar. Whenever we get dates on this live, you never know. We have a lot of different beings. We have some rogue reptilians. We get some intel on this feed that others may not get. So write that down for anyone. 4/11/2019. I don't know how relative that is, but Pedro just put that up. We got you, Dante. Anyway, so let's go back into it. So I remember, for all of you who know our intellist, Wade 13, who's on our show on Aquarius Rising Ninth Gate, also denoted with Drake, who's one of our one of the intellists that we have, that in October there would be a financial collapse. I found it very interesting that an election, a midterm election, is coming up that people are making a really big stink about. Oh wait. Something was erased. Hold on. Stop the presses. Kiki 2. But you okay, Kiki 2 just said something was erased. I just caught that. Hold on. It was a rumor that something hit the moon. Something hit the moon. Well, I hope so. I hope something hit the moon. I hope that's not a rumor. I hope it's true. Because you already know the moon, well, to my knowledge, the moon is a satellite, and that's what's controlling a lot of the ebbs and flows here. That's what, the dark side of the moon is where most souls get recycled to come back into the matrix, cleared of all their memories. If the moon goes down, I'm all good with it. I'm not a fan of the moon, and the moon is used for manipulation. So I didn't hear that, but thank you, Kiki, for giving us that intel. So you personally think that the moon, something hit the moon? The moon looks so funny now. Interesting. We'll find out if the moon was hit, because we had a quarter moon, so we should be able to see something different unless they put a hologram. Unless they because the sun, the solar image that you have in the sky is not our true sun. There's rumors that is a solar generator, because I was looking at the sun this morning in Florida, and it has no illumination. It has no yellowing. It's just a white bulb. They put a bulb in the sky, people. It's not even the sun anymore. I looked up at the sky this morning, and my little one was like, "Mommy, I can't look at the sun anymore." I said, "Because baby, that's not the sun." I gotta be careful, because they know their mom is a little, to other soccer moms and other, facilitators, they know they consider me to be a little eccentric, but I can't have her having ideology that's not, that would be harmful to her peace of mind in school. So I try to have to make sure that I'm mindful of what I share with her. Okay, so some people said that the moon was hit. Now, let me go back to what I said. They were stating that there was going to be a financial collapse in around October, right? So October is here. Anytime we get these downing of any form of technology, listen, last week we had the presidential, what was it, a week and a half ago, we had the presidential alert system on everybody's phone across everyone's. It didn't matter if you had AT&T, Sprint, Verizon. Everyone got mostly the same messaging, which has never happened, okay? And also, we discussed last night on Cypher, the fact of the matter is that new show, show American Horror, on the same night, because I didn't watch it on the same night, but on the same night or the day before that we had the presidential alert, of course, we have predictive programming on the new American Horror Story. Look at this squirrel. He likes to watch me. Sorry, I'm talking to the squirrels. They watch me because I'm always out here, and they like to see what I'm doing. They get intrigued. Yeah, the American Horror Story Apocalypse, the first show, the night of the show, when it began, I didn't see the first night because that's when we had the presidential alert, and I told everybody not to watch it. But apparently they had an alert on the first episode, not a presidential alert system. We've never had that before. And remember, that show is pre-recorded. That's taped months ahead of time. So the fact of the matter is, it's interesting that first episode correlated with something that was happening in an event that we didn't even know could be plausible and possible. So how is that possible? Because it's predictive programming. They have to tell you what they're going to do, but before they do it, that's universal law. They have to get your, we're all here and we have free will, but they cannot do anything. They're disallowed from doing anything that they do not tell us. So they put it in television under the pretense. My squirrels are, I'm sorry, family. My squirrels on my tree, they want my attention right now. They were going bonkers before this live came on. And they call me. So cute. Yeah, I should go outside. Oh, you want to see them? Hold on. Let me show you my squirrels. It's one of my squirrels. It's probably one of the babies I save. Sometimes I save the babies and they always like to come around. Anyway, yeah, she keeps calling me while I'm here. And when I look at her, she stops calling me. And then when I turn away, she calls me. Anyway, I'm sorry. That's not a real spider. My little ones put that outside. Don't get scared. That's not a real spider. We're not in the jungle in the Amazon quite yet. I'm sure the spiders look quite like that. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay, so that the show, Apocalypse, American Horror, had the same alert. And if you watch that, you know, I watched all the 5 series. I paid the extra to see it. I wanted to see, because after I saw that, I wanted to see every episode, and I watched it, and it's very predictive. So I would suggest you watching. It's very, they have to tell you everything before they tell you. So now we had an alert system that was already preempted on a show that was predated, pre-recorded. I don't know how many months prior. Then we have, not only that, we have a huge false hurricane, which did cause real damage. Now, if Borzing, big up to Borzing who gave me this intel, apparently your President Trump had stated that he was going to go into South and North Carolina because he's not giving them $1 trillion of resources because he doesn't even know that it's real. Listen to what your president said. He said this live. I think he was on, Borzing said it was on the Today Show. He said this live. He said he's going to go to North Carolina and South Carolina because he doesn't believe that he doesn't even know for a fact that the hurricane was real, that they created it. That's why, you know, when y'all were upset that he won, he's a loose cannon like Kanye West. The problem is Kanye's mind is all over the place because they've MK Ultra'd him. Remember, they put him in the facility and they, you know, I don't know if they put electrodes in his brain. I don't know what they did to that man, but they did something to him. So he's got, his heart is still there. I personally don't think he's a clone. I think that he's under the MK Ultra system. So I think parts of him are still there, but they're fractal. But he's similar to President Trump. So many of you get mad at President Trump. He's got leukoplasia. He'll tell you the truth. He calls everything fake news. I mean, he's egregiously wealthy, which you do want to a certain degree because he's not being hell-bent or controlled by a lot of beings. That's why they're so pissed at him, because he can't really be controlled. He's already in that above Bilderberg, genre. So he's a loose cannon because he's not swayed by financial incentives. So when he says things like there's fake news, or he states that the weather is fake, so he doesn't want to give $3 trillion to a region where he doesn't even know that weather is real. You want to appreciate someone doing that. You don't have to like the person, but listen, sometimes the message comes from the most unsavory beings, and we have to be okay with it. So he said that. So we had the weather wars, genetically modified weather that came into the Carolinas along the coast again, motivating people to move them off the coast. We have the red tide, which is everywhere in Florida, that has shut down so many beaches, which is uncommon. We used to get bouts of red tide, which is very natural. It happens occasionally when the pH of the water is down. That's here. Then you have a bout of Legionnaires, which my mother caught. It's been in the hospital since before July. Then we have now a shutdown of certain grid systems, which shutting down internets, and then it's a matter of time before the whole grid is shut down, which I applaud. You want the grid shut down. And I always denote this because people are like, oh, what if the grid? Shut the grid down. The grid is the reason. The energetic grid is why we're hell bent and kept here in a frequency prison. And if that grid goes down, you will feel the freedom of all the things that electronics that are hampering your system, your biosphere, and your immune system. As soon as that grid goes down, you're going to feel better. For anyone who has migraines all the time, who has headaches, who's highly sensitive to the low ELF waves that are we're being bombarded by daily. Some of us are more muted or have built up a resistance to it, but for a lot of people who are hypersensitive to this, all the frequencies, the low ELF wave frequencies that they're perpetually, hampering our systems with, that grid goes down, you're going to feel like a god. And a lot of us who are in the ascension path, who are here to rise above the perimeters, that's why I say they hit the moon. That could be the first sign that the grid's about to go down. Listen, the hit on the moon we always think that something's diabolically happening to us. What if the matter is that there are beings here who are assisting us so that we could get the heck out of Dodge and rise above this firmament, according to big up to the flat earthers. The flat earthers have some good theories. Some of them are a little far-fetched, but I appreciate the firmament, whatever, concept, because when I was seeing the sun simulator this morning and looking at the fake sun, and my own little one, my offspring, is noticing the sun is off, you darn Skippy, we need to get the heck out of Dodge, because they have so many, the moon is fake, the sun is fake. We're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy. We're somewhere else. Let the grid go down. Stop fighting the system and stop perpetually assisting the grid staying up. Get yourself some Parcheesi games, some Uno, some backgammon. Get yourself some cards, some chess games. Y'all have been so, the millennials, y'all are so used to technology. We actually had to play in the dirt as children. Lights didn't come on until like 6, 7 o'clock, and then you came home on your bikes, dirty, wet, doing all kinds of fun stuff outside, because that's what we did. All these millennials are sitting in the house getting programmed by their video games. Connect 4. Oh, I love Connect 4. You know what? I have that in the garage. Listen, if the grid goes down, want it. If they hit the moon, this is a good thing. I hope they hit the moon. If I had the ability to do so, I'd get rid of that sucker in the sky. That's not a natural moon. That is a hollowed out planet that was towed here and was under the control of the diabolical reptilians for eons, until it was taken over. I think it was taken over in 2009, to my knowledge, and then it was retaken back by certain reptilian draconian groups, and then it was also taken over again. So that is utilized to suppress the female element on the planet. That is why females go into labor when the moon is full. That's why we are controlled more so through our wombs, because we have more water inside of us. It was here and towed here for manipulation, and that is where everyone goes on the dark side of the moon when they die. If they're not aware, they die. That's why you tell everyone before they die, before they're about to transition, you tell them, don't go to that light, the false light. That's how they get them. It hypnotizes them when they transition, and when they go towards that light, that's where they go into the recycling center on the dark side of the moon, and then they get cleared of all memories and thrown right back in the matrix without any knowledge or anything of where they've been previously. So you want that moon taken down. It's my opinion. I would be okay with it. So hopefully that's true intel. Okay, crochet. Oh, you guys got some good ideas. Yeah, let the grid go down. So I have a feeling with all these preamps, we're about to see, and also FEMA just made a couple videos in Spanish, because I get all stations, because remember, I come, I'm French, so, I get the Spanish channels, I get the Spanish channels, I get the Portuguese channels, and I get the French channels. I noticed that FEMA made a host of videos to the Latina community this morning, freshly this morning, talking about the emergency system. Did anyone else get that? So, if you've got that, that's another preamp that something's about to go down. So for that reason, you already know. They are preparing themselves, not so much us, but preparing. They're kind of just walking everyone, getting them prepped for a bigger occurrence, which, this squirrel just jumped from the roof to this tree. We don't have, the squirrels are going crazy. I know I'm live and, it's morning time, and I never talk in front of my home because my squirrels, they go crazy, but right now they're doing odd things this morning. And it's the cutest thing in the world. I'm sorry, I get distracted when they're around. So I have a feeling we're probably going to get a mass grid down. The grid's probably going to be shut down in like a week or two, or maybe even within the weekend. The financial collapse is supposed to happen this month, this month, supposedly. It's a made-up word. I make up words in my mind, okay? That's a very Africano quality, part of the being of the African diaspora. We tend to be very creative people, and we make up new genres and terms. So I just, stuposedly is like supposedly, but it's stuposedly, okay? A lot of you think that I'm just ignorant when I say words. I really know what I'm saying. I flip mode the word. Yeah, what was I going to say? Yeah, I have a feeling the grid's going down. The financial collapse, if the financial collapse happens, you already know. Many of you know who are in financial institutions. It'll happen over the weekend. They're not going to do it in a weekday. They'll do it because if the banks ever close down, remember they did something in Ireland, which you'll notice it'll start on a Friday at the end of the day for the banking system, because they want to give themselves enough chance to shut down everything, or to bob and weave, move things around. So personally, if you're nice nicks of America, you already know our money is worth close to nothing. It is all we're carrying is notes. The fiat system is notes. None of the money here in the States is backed by gold or silver. So you basically are you acknowledging the fact that you shouldn't worry about money in the way, because that dollar bills are spells. They have spells all over it, just like when you buy books by Satanists and Luciferians. When you buy the books, there's spells on it, and there's demons and entities and deities attached to those books and that paper. Because remember, for those who are elementals like myself, we also understand that paper is dead trees. That is the skin of trees. That is the skeletal remain of trees. So it has a spell on it. Anytime you use something death-wise and then write something on it, an incantation, that is a spell. So anytime you carry money, that's why I talked about it before. The people who carry the most money, the people who handle the most money are usually the poorest people who have the least amount of money. The people who handle money all the time, paper money, who touch it all the time, are people who have the least amount of income. The people who rarely touch money, who have more, I call crypto, I'm not utilizing it in the correct way, who have crypto money, phantom money, those are the ones who tend to be the wealthiest. They don't touch money because money has spells on it. Okay? All your servants, servitutinal type of jobs handle money a lot. People in the fast food, those are people who handle a lot of money, and they have spells on it. The more that you touch money, the more that you'll have less of it, because it has a spell on it. Digital money, thank you. Okay, so, that's why you got to be careful following the cues of certain things. Not everybody's the same. Okay, the fears that you may have as an ordinary being with a soul on the planet is totally different than those who are the sun is coming down and going up, is going to be different than those who are in certain tiers, the social economical tiers. Why is it going to be different? Because their motivation for doing things has a different level of crisis. Okay, that's why they obsess with different things. But don't follow the tiers and the trauma that they're trying to invoke in you based on their fears. They're always saying, oh my God, you don't want the grid to go down. You have all these pro quo, these fake whistleblowers who are always fear-based. Why do you think Alex Jones was taken down? Alex Jones was the biggest provocateur of fear out of everyone. He was taken out by one of ours. Okay? Alex Jones was a provocateur of fear. He was fear-based. Now, was he a supporter of Trump? Yes. Was he down with Trump? Yes. It doesn't mean that, I'm sorry. Doesn't mean that he wasn't telling the truth a lot of times. It just means that the people that were down with him, their fears were real based on the fact that those are people that do have a stake in the grid going down. If the grid goes down, they lose everything. Remember, the meek shall inherit the earth, not the wealthy, not the Bilderbergs, not the patriarchy, not any of those other regimes. The meek shall inherit the earth. So for that reason, you'll know that those concerns of the dark ones have nothing to do with you and us. Has zero to do with us. If the grid goes down, it only benefits the human. It only benefits mankind will go down, because mankind are genetically modified beings. They are not human, and they are not they're not everlasting batteries. They're soulless beings who are motivated by the dark cabal. They're contracted by the dark cabal. They don't have the same concerns as a person with a soul or a human being. So whatever they're fearful of, you should be the opposite. If the dollar drops, what does it mean to you? Do you have a whole lot of Bilderberg money in an account somewhere hidden? Chances are you don't. So it shouldn't concern you. The only person that's going to concern are those who have a stake and are doing well under the diabolical system. For those who haven't done well, we should champion this moment. This is beautiful. Let them look at my spiders happy too. Oh, you want to see something? Interesting. I'm seeing a little bit of a lot of things are going on outside right here, my window. Yeah. So let's recap. Presidential alert. Geoengineered weather that hit the coast. Again, another coastline hit that's motivating people to move away from the coast. We still haven't figured out why they're trying to move people. They're herding people away from the coast. If you're seeing the sun on me, that's a sun simulator making me shine. It does feel good though. I love the feeling of the sun. We've got the shutdown of the internet in a small scale that probably will build. We have a midterm election coming, which is causing another motivation for some of this madness, because we don't even know what that's going to bring. You have the GOP, all these crazy political people, which to me are just like church people. Politics to me is just like religion. It's one and the same. It's the same coin, opposite end of the same coin. They're obsessed, they're fanatical, and there's an incentive that always has to do with self-motivation of upholding a diabolical system rather than assisting the regular people that vote for these beings. We're still in Venus retrograde, so some of your relationships are going back crazy. The Venus retrograde, I can't, you got to take that in consideration, because it really heightens passions and hold on, my alert won't come off my phone. And it also causes disruptions. It's not so much long-term disruptions, but relationships disruptions, things that were not seen or actually being dealt with now to clear. Venus retrograde is a good time to clear aspects of things that you would not normally have acknowledged. So it'll force it to be seen and perceived so that you can, you can't change what you don't acknowledge. That's all that's about. Okay. The babies are, listen, these ancients, the babies are all these indigos, these star seeds that have come through. They're all prepackaged before they come into this matrix, and they're ready for the change and shift. Many of them are telling you to do things. Listen to the children. They're already pre-programmed to engage in a system that was already preordained to shut down. So they're fine. I think a lot of times it's the parents who stop the children. The children will tell you things and you'll tell them that they're crazy, or you won't allow them to speak, or you don't take the moment to sit down with them and listen to their shares. This is a time you really have to listen to the children. The children have a way more intel on what's going on energetically than most of us. Even if they don't have the verbiage to detail it, they know. Okay? They watch them. They will, what they wear sometimes on certain days will tell you, the colors that they choose, the words that they use. They'll tell you about their feelings. They'll tell you about something like my daughter saying the sun feels different. They will tell you. Okay, so listen to the little ones. They're preset for this. Okay, so now, the grid is probably going to shut down. I'm excited. Like I said, I should actually go and get more games. Listen, this is how Fleur Run gets down. I'm staying out of fear. My mama is under good hands, which I like. I'm appreciative of that. Everybody I love, will be fine. So I say go get games and enjoy it. People are worried about, the only people who are worried about the people who have stocks and bonds. Now, if you got a lot of stocks and you're concerned if the Dow drops, it is what it is. Okay? I'm not telling you to pull out your money, but I'm just saying, if you are in the business of taking risks, just know that could be a risk. Okay? But when the system goes down, people who are always fearful, I said, what are you fearful of? Not having to go to work? You're fearful? Not having to pay your bills? Because bills you'll have a bit of a furlough, a respite on paying bills, because no one will be able to pay bills. So that won't be a major concern, which causes a lot of stressors in people's lives. You will have more time with your family and loved ones. You can snuggle in bed with your hubby and your wife or your girlfriend, your boyfriend, or the babies. You can snuggle in bed with them longer because you don't have to get up and go into the grind. So you're upset about not having to chill with your family? Okay? People are worried about water. You should already know how to filter your water or have filtered water in your home. I mean, these are things you're supposed to been prepared from a long time. You shouldn't be concerned about that. You should have a home filtration system. You should already know how to do that. If you watch The Walking Dead, big up to all those zombie watching shows. If you watch all these apocalyptic movies, you already know how to do 90% of the survivaling tips. So what are you concerned about that? You'll have more time in the day. You'll learn how to build a fire. You'll have more time. You'll meet your neighbors. Maybe you work all the time, so you don't even know who your neighbors are. You'll see the humanity in people. Are you afraid to see the humanity? That's what I'm saying. Don't get involved in the dark cabal's fears, because their fears are relative to what they are part of. You aren't in that. Majority of people on my line, except a few agents that are on here, governmental agents who like to watch me, peace to you. And they too know what I'm saying is true, and they'll be happy themselves to have security for their families and peace of mind. You won't have to pay a mortgage. What are you afraid of? So let the grid go down. So what? Yeah. Go sit down somewhere, sing some songs, have some drum circles. For some of you who are sipping on the yak, you can know how to make your own hooch. I mean, make your own wine and spirits. It'll be beautiful. Clothing won't be optional unless you're in a cool area. I mean, just enjoy it. This is beautiful. We're in beautiful times. For those who are the meek, who are human beings on this planet, who are here in service to others. This is the most beautiful. This is what we wanted. The golden age is, we're upon it. Yeah, I'll have you know, I'm having a party. I have hurricane parties. I have BYOL, bring your own light. My parties, when we have hurricanes, I treat it like anything is a celebration in my mind. Enjoy yourselves. The president, all this other extra stuff that they're doing is all for them and their people. You are not part of those people. You aren't a part of that party. They're going down. They're upset. They're scared. Let them fear provocateur their own people, because that's who they're talking to. They're talking to the 1% of the diabolicals who've been living on your sweating and efforts for the last couple of 100 years. They're the ones who are fearful. Why are you taking that in? That's not your business. You can watch and observe them, but don't take that fear into yourself. That has zero to do with you. Unless you were invested in corporations abroad where you have tons of money all over places, unless you've been harvesting energy, dark energy from beings via your technology or your businesses, unless you're part of that, you should be absolutely excited. This is a beautiful time on this planet, and people say it's not. For those who say it's not, I question their humanity. Because I see every day, I'm looking outside of the beautiful squirrels. My plants are looking happy. My tree is smiling. It's all good in the hood. I'm grateful for my good health. I'm grateful for my healthy children. I'm grateful for the roof that I have over my head. I'm grateful that I have a decaf coffee that I can drink and and if I don't have it, I'll grow my own, and then I'll, dry my coffee beans and I'll make it that way. It's a beautiful time, people. YouTube going down. We obsess with it so much anyway. We like interacting with one another, but if it goes down, we already got the warning. We already got the preamp. What does it matter? It goes down, you'll have more time with your family. You'll have more time. Some of you are sexually deprived because you're obsessed with everything outside of yourself. Maybe you'll have more time to make love to your partner, or to touch and kiss them, or to hold their hand, or to brush your spouse's hair. I mean, a lot of times we put emphasis on everything outside of ourselves instead of, like I said, as a child, I was in the dirt, playing outside with my friends, riding bikes, getting scrapes on my knees, going to get popsicles at the store for 25 cents, the frozen pops, going to the store for 25 cents, getting it all over my face, having my shoes break and just walking barefoot. That's the life. That's where we're going back, ladies and gentlemen. And you're upset about the grid going down? Come on now. And people always say, well, why is she always talking about beautiful, like not being fear? It's unnecessary. You have all our lives, they place fear on us. Fear is not even a natural thing for a baby, for children. We place fear on them. We teach them how to be fearful of things. We make them overly cautious on certain things. That's what we condition our children to do. Me included sometimes, and I have to pull back. But it's not natural. Like, I'm sitting out here right now. The only thing that I would love is to be able to go to the beach. But these bastards have ruined the beaches in Florida. So if they ruin the beaches in Florida, by all means, I can go to the beach in Costa Rica. I can go to a beach. I can travel to somewhere in South Africa has the best beaches. A friend of mine said we should go to South Africa. I can go to beaches anywhere. Don't let them stop your shine. Jamaica has a beautiful beach. There is zero outside of you that can change you. You have all say in your life. If someone's causing strife in your life, whether it's through technology, whether it's through your job, whether it's through your spouse, that's on you. You have a free rein to walk out of any scenario that's uncomfortable and change your circumstances. I've learned that firsthand. I've learned that. I didn't know that previously, but I am in control of my peace of mind. I take reins in what goes on in my life. So I can never really give credence or credibility to beings outside of myself, because if they're a part of my life, I've allowed them in. And if they're creating tyranny in my life, it's because I've allowed it. And if I sit here and allow these dark Kabbalists to motivate me to be fearful, that's my responsibility. So when you go to these channels where they're giving you the intel, believe me, know the intel, always be prepared. It's always wonderful to be prepared for anything. If anything pops off, if anything pops off anywhere, yeah, you're supposed to know. Go get yourself a rowboat. Take yourself on a boat. You know, I told someone one time when they were saying they're just feeling depressed, but they had a little loot. I said, go buy a rowboat. And they took a moment and they said, because I know they like to be in nature and they love water, but they didn't have a boat. I said, how could you love water and not have a boat? Go get yourself a rowboat or a kayak. Go get the things to put on top of your truck. You know, the little things to put so you can connect because we can't do that in Florida. We got alligators. We got draconians up in our waterways. They're interesting to watch though. But I'm saying go get yourself a kayak and go row yourself somewhere. You ever sit out in the middle? You want to cure depression? Go sit out in the middle of the water. Do you know how healing, you know how different the ionosphere is in the water? I used to sit out with my uncle in Lake Ontario towards Canada. It's the most beautiful lake you can ever see. It's huge. And sit out in the middle of the water and then jump in. You know how beautiful that is? Go to the water. And if you can't get to the water, go sit underneath a tree. Okay? Don't allow beings to mess with your peace of mind. Like I said, if the moon goes down, I'm going to have a party. I'm gonna have a party. If I see the moon is out of the sky, you best believe that is a celebration. I doubt it'll happen, but if they're hitting the moon like that, if that moon gets fractured in pieces, you want that because they're controlling the human beings on this planet with that moon, and they are recycling you. That's why you forget who you are every time you incarnate. That is an abuse. That isn't right. How could you take what you've learned and utilize it in your new life if you don't even remember what you learned? You get bits and pieces, fractal parts of your memory. Come on now. I give the best parties. I do. That's one thing I do well. I love celebrations. I celebrate everything. Someone said, do you celebrate religious? I celebrate everything. Give me a date and they give time off to everybody. What's the point? I celebrate everything. What's the point of not? Isn't the moon recycling shut down? I'm not sure about that. Not to my knowledge, not yet. You'll know. You know how you'll know if the moon? Oh my gosh, Erica Smith. Oh my God, thank you so much. Oh, that is so sweet. I appreciate it, Erica. Erica Smith just made a donation. Thank you, love. I appreciate that. That money will go to the party. I'm serious. Anything I get off here, I just utilize for you guys to do stuff. I'll use that money for the party. I'll get some really good soursop. Well, I have soursop leaves, but I'll make like a huge, I make like a huge moringa tea, but then I'll have like some extra things in there. Like I had a smoothie yesterday. Yeah. Thank you, Erica. Yeah, it's time for us. Yeah, I make soursop moringa tea, which Kirk, it's my mate. It's his favorite. He obsesses with it. I make it so delicious with key limes. Oh my gosh. I know. I don't want to sidebar because you know how I get. Oh, I love this. If I have a celebration, I'm making that because it's like everyone's favorite. It's so good for you and it's anti-carcinogen. So it's delicious, but it is good. And I take Hawaiian. I know this is crazy because everybody thinks but it tastes so good. I take Hawaiian water that's from where's it from? I forgot. I get this water that I put in because I have my own filter water, but I get specific water to put in my tea, and then I put it in the fridge, and it is absolutely goddess. Oh, the sanctuary. Listen, the sanctuary is still gonna happen. Oh my God, Anita. Oh my God, Anita, thank you so much, Anita. Thank you, Anita. Anita just made a Evans. Thank you, Anita Evans. That's more money for the party. I'm serious. I appreciate it. That's gonna pay for all the fruits and dips. That's what I do. It's a celebration. I think, like I said, you're not supposed to hoard anything. You know, people sitting around hoarding stuff. I learned not to hoard anymore. My mom is a super hoarder growing up. She just, you know, because she came from another country, so they just like, you know, they like to save everything. But I realized that if you have like a glasses or dishes in your cabinets that are so pretty, you're supposed to use them every day. Like today's the last. Like we're to live today like it's the last day. Live today, like today right now, I'm gonna live it up like it's the last day, so that if tomorrow doesn't come, you can literally say when you leave in transition that, my gosh, I lived my life fully. Don't hoard. Hoarding is a sin. You know, people are hoarding money or items or people. Some people hoard yonis or wands. It's unnecessary. And you're not in the flow of the universe if you hoard. That's another thing I've learned. When you hoard, it's a fear that comes from fear that you're not going to ever have. If you really are in sync with universal laws, you understand that you will always have what you need at the time you need it. So hoarding is giving yourself a blocker and receiving new abundance coming in. You're giving yourself a blocker. So like I always, you know, even when I do things with people, like if someone calls for advice, I make them test this. I usually do it with the young people because I don't want someone to get into fear mode and then say, oh my God, Flurban, you made me do this. But I make my C-stars, like, especially if they're young and they have, you know, their parents are still taking care of them to a certain degree. I tell them, if you don't agree with the flow and you don't think this will happen, make sure you do something. Make them take a risk. And it's not really a risk, but I want them to step to the end of I want them to stand to the end of a plank and know that there's zero chances of falling. But I can't make them do that until I make them test it. So when they go to the end of the plank, I make them step over it. And then they realize that there's zero chances of them ever falling, that they're always be in safety, but they have to step to the end. So I'll tell them, like, you know, a lot of niestas know this a lot of times, or men. You know, I'll tell them to spend everything, but spend it on things that are good for you. Like go juicing, tamarind juice. Don't get me started. Oh yes, Kim family. I love tamarind. I have tamarind inside right now. Thank you for that. I want to have some tamarind juice too. In New York, in Spanish Harlem, in New York, you know, they have the ices outside. They have tamarind ices, Italian ices. I love them. Oh my God. Oh wait, let me finish my example. So I always tell them, listen, spend every dime that you have to the dollar. Listen, and don't do it all. Please, nobody on here do this now. I have to walk you through this because I want you to be, it's a mindset. Poverty is a mindset that is purposefully implanted in certain people, usually by their planets, but also by, you know, it's geographically implanted as well, depending on the demographics of people you come from. So I tell them spend everything, but when you spend your fiat, spend it on things that are good for you, like go and get yourself a massage, or get Reiki, or go and get acupuncture, or go and go to a really good smoothie place where it's all fresh greens and everything. Eat like a goddess. Sit outside, like pay to do things that are for you, that are good for you, and self-love. Spend it to the dollar. A bill will come up. Listen, family, don't do it. I don't want anyone to do this because this has to be something that you're ready for. And then spend everything to the dollar. I guarantee, I have 100% guarantee. This is the one thing I could do for you. I have 100% guarantee that when that bill comes up, magically, and it's not magic, it's the universe wanting you to be in your fullness, in your full self, enjoy everything. To the day of your bill, you will get all the resources to pay it. Either somebody pays it for you. You won't have to ask either. It'll come. Someone will pay it for you. Money will just come up like a refund out of the blue. Something will happen where the bill's not necessarily needing to be paid, or it'll show up at your, it happens every single time. So that's walking to the end of the plank. That's just with fiat. And I tell people to do this so that they have trust in the universe, because the universe wants you to win. Your higher self is here for you. Your team of guides, angels, your ancestors are all here for you, and they always want you to win. And if you sit in the acknowledgement that you will always have what you need at the time you need it, you will be in absolute. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at this. This is a dragonfly. You want to see him? Hold on. He's sitting here listening. All the nature. I love this. He's sitting on at the edge of a branch watching me. We have the most beautiful dragonflies here in Florida. And if you look close enough, sometimes you can see the fairies riding them. This one's staring at me. Yeah, money is a spell. So you don't worry about money. Never try to stay away from requiring money. Always accept abundance, because abundance comes in all different formats. So try to stay limitless in what you desire, because you will always have what you need at the time you need it. I love dragonflies. She's just sitting there watching me, sitting so stoic and beautiful, absorbing the sun rays. She doesn't really care that the sun is not real. Yeah, so I always come to you like, when a wave comes, fear zero. Everything. Oh, who's this? Oh, someone's parked behind me, and he's handsome. Oh, he's parked in my driveway. Hold on, let's see who this is. It could be an agent pulling out a gun. If I duck real quick. If I duck real quick, it's because someone's behind me. And that's staying out of fear, but that's being realistic, because I am from New York. Interesting. This gentleman just parked behind my truck. Listen, he parked behind my truck in my driveway. And this is how wonderful I am. All I Hey, family. So look, this guy is outside. He's parked behind my driveway. I'm going to show you him, because I'd like to expose them. Now, first I thought he was just mistaking the address, but let me show you him so we have it on record. Now look, everybody. Look at him. He's sitting outside my house. Look at this. He's looking right at me through my window. He's sitting, as soon as I pulled in my garage, listen to this. I pulled in my garage. Look at him staring at my house. I pulled in my garage. He parks right behind my driveway when I pull in. Now, when people think I'm cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, look at this. Oh, he's gonna pull off. Look, look, look. He knows I'm taping him. He's pulling off. Bye. Bye. You see? This is what happens. These beings are everywhere. They're watchers. They come and they watch and they try to just see what you're doing. And you could have been sent here governmental-wise. I'm not quite sure. Hold on. I'm going in my sacred space. Hold on. Let me turn on my light. There we go. Illumination. There we go. All right, so now we're in my safe space, which you see me every day. So when you think that, yeah, I filmed him. I don't know what the clown wanted. He sat there. He looked really suspicious. He didn't think I was in the car. So when he noticed, he backed up when I beeped, and I pulled in my garage. And as you saw, elle est sur la chat. Hey, Opus. Bonjour. Comment ça va? Oh, I'm inside. Yeah, I went inside. Listen, I listen to universal cues. I don't play games. When I see something that's odd, hold on, my light is really bright. I'll turn you on the other side. Okay. Yeah, when I see something that's odd and out of placement, I pay attention to it. Fleur, not going through saying this live like this is it. Listen, I live every day like it's my last day. Yeah. So, yeah, it's all good in the hood. He's being filmed. See, when you're really a watcher, you're not supposed to be seen. So that's how you know whenever they're ETs, you can't see ET-based beings, but when it is governmental, they're not as clever. So they usually, well, it depends on where they come from, because the men in black are just something different. But whenever, who was that? I don't know who the heck that was. Yeah. But it's interesting because remember, I'm online, I'm in my own driveway in my own truck. So it's nothing that, and I wasn't doing anything odd. And then he pulls behind me. He doesn't know I'm in the truck. And then I beep and he backs up. And then as soon as I go in the garage, he pulls up behind my driveway and he sits outside my house until he sees that I'm filming him, and then he drives off. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's all good. No, it's not targeted. I mean, they probably do this to many people. I'm not that special. I should have backed up into him. I could do it with my truck. But then, you know, people are very litigious. You know, I don't start none, won't be none. You know, I can see him and I can go in and take care of myself. I have little need to do anything with him. We got him on film, so if anything happens, you know who he is. I didn't get his license because I don't need to go out, because you don't know what he has in his hands or what he's doing. And a lot of times I don't do anything with regular weaponry. They do things sonic wise. So, you know, sometimes they use sonic electrical, sonic weaponry. They just want you to know that they're creepy. Do you know anything about it? Don't say every moment fullest. Oh, the choppers are coming, Angelina. Oh, and my Andrea says I'm completely crazy. I am completely out of the matrix mind. You're absolutely correct. Someone said I'm completely crazy. According to most Matrix people, I am crazy. So I accept that in your state of consciousness, that is how you perceive me, and I accept that that's what it is. Choppers coming over there, just be aware. Once we remember, we're raising, when we're talking about abundance, remember we're bringing in frequencies, and how there's 548 people in here. Remember, when we're talking about abundance, we're talking about you always have what you need at the time you need it. Whenever you bring our frequency, that means we're all illuminating in that same frequency. Do you know what kind of influx we're causing? We're causing permeations through the matrix like this, and they can read those energy signatures, and that causes an alert for the dark cabal. So when they hear the energy signatures and they hear that pulsating high frequency, they're going to go and see where it's coming from. So they know, and they want to see who's generating it too. So it makes sense. Remember, I have galactic, I'm grateful for my galactic protection, and also I'm grateful for the ancestral backup that I have as well. So, like I said, the gentleman who was doing that, he wasn't very smart or clever. So what governmental system sent him? It was probably something more rogue, because something more governmental would be a little more obscure. They wouldn't make themselves so overtly, you couldn't see them so overt. He wasn't very smart, right? He stayed in front of the house. He wasn't being covert. So my thing is, it's probably not something that was really a major governmental. It could be something that's more rogue, something that, there's tons of rogue groups all over the country. They're not all governmentally based either. So it could be anything. No, this is not the first time it happened. Coco baby. If you've been on my lives before, this is something I had my lab guy used to follow me around all the time, and I get him on YouTube. So it happens occasionally. We catch them on, and as soon as they're seen, they disappear. So like I said, I came into this planet with a smile, and I'm gonna leave this planet warm in my bed. And I'm going to leave this planet when my children's children are here. I'm going to see several generations of my offspring's offspring. So I plan to be on this planet for a long time, healthy, happy, and well-sustained, and living in the golden age. So if you're concerned about that, just know that I've already seen a future where I exist, and I exist beautifully with my great-great-great-great-grandchildren. I will be the elder that they come to, and I will have good health and good mind, sound mind. Anyway, family, I think we went into a beautiful thing. Let's still continue to be in abundance, and you will always have what you need that you need it. If the grid goes down, this is a beautiful day. Just know that you are highly supported by all of your ancestors and all of your higher self. But but remember, you have to follow your first mind. That's what I loved about Dr. Delbert Blair, and that's what he taught me the best, is that you always follow your first mind. If I was like some other people, I would have gotten out of the car, gone to him, and something could have happened. My first mind said to go inside of my sacred space, my home, where I'm highly protected, and look from a safe distance. That was my first mind. Always follow your first mind, and you will always have what you need at the time you need it. And I am a proponent of that. I'm a facilitator of that, and I know it to be true. So, listen, I've been on YouTube for how long? I appreciate this platform. If the grid goes down, all of us will utilize our telepathy, and I bet you we'll find each other. It always happens. So that at the end of the day, can't stop, won't stop. Anyway, family, I'm going to go, because I'm going to go live in abundance, and I want to go and actually enjoy my day. And even with something that looks like that, just always stay in the flow. I feel safe to go and enjoy my day and go do some wonderful things that are in self-love, and also extend some love to others. So you do the same. Don't keep away, let zero stop your shine. Always illuminate. And like I said, like I gave that advice to someone, and you can use it just as maybe just an inkling, go and get a rowboat. And it may not be, just use a symbolic thought of that. Go and get a rowboat and sit in the middle of still water. It's the most cleansing, clearing thing. And if you can't do it on, tangibly, physically, then you do it in your mind. All right. So have a wonderful day. It's going to be beautiful. If the grid stops, goes down, party. We have Erica, our 2 nieces who donated money for the party already. This is like a house party. It's like a beach party. We already have 2 donations already. That's for the party money. So I'm putting that aside for the moringa tea, big tea, and some fruit and some dips. So we already have donations for that. Enjoy your day, live masterfully, tell your partner you love them, give your children wonderful hugs, call your mom and say, I'm grateful that you brought me on this earth, daddy too. Tell your boss, listen, I do the best that I can and I appreciate just having a job. Be grateful for your house, have the best meal today, have that slice of pie that you've been waiting for, hold the hand of the lover that you've been craving to hold their hand. Tell that person that she's beautiful when you see her walk down the street. Take your shoes off and walk in the grass. Take your panties off and sit in the grass, in the dirt, and let the earth permeate through your yoni space. Live masterfully today. Live every day as if it's the last. And when the grid goes down and the financial market crashes, you're already existing in the golden age. All right? So, all right, family, I love you. Peace. I can never turn this off on time.